Welcome back to another episode of the Vill Chillin' Podcast, part of the Villain ENT Network. My name is Jack.
My name is Aaron.
And just a reminder, we are on all major podcast services from Spotify to Apple, Google to Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. Give us a follow there and or rating, as it all helps. Please subscribe to this channel, leave us a comment on how we're doing, drop a like. Don't forget to also subscribe to our other Villain ENT channels, Vill Grillin' and Vill Gaming, where you'll see us gaming from a little bit of everything. I was playing some 2K22 the other day, some wrestling.
Yeah. I've had a Cyberpunk video a few days ago.
Nice.
On Cyberpunk stream, so we're definitely still working on those, getting there.
Might play some Tony Hawk later.
So yeah, welcome back everybody. This episode we're going to be continuing our series on people of Kentucky, and to kind of play on our last episode. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, it's on Hunter S. Thompson. So if you haven't seen it, definitely check that one out too. One of my, I'm biased, I'm sure, but one of my kind of favorite people that I can say is from Kentucky. You know, there's a lot of them, but Hunter S. Thompson's definitely one of my favorites. So I really enjoyed making that episode. And so today, kind of continuing the theme a little bit, we're actually going to be talking about Johnny Depp.
Also from Kentucky.
Also from Kentucky. He played technically Raoul Duke in Fear and Loathing, but you know, that was just a characterization of Hunter S. Thompson himself. And Johnny Depp and Hunter S. Thompson were actually really good friends too. Johnny Depp actually paid for a good portion of Thompson's memorial service following his death. So
yeah, they were very close. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yes, they were. So just kind of funny how they're both from Kentucky and they end up intertwining that much, like just through their experiences.
Right, both very eccentric and
yeah, I mean, when you know a little bit about them both, you can definitely...
It makes sense. Right, I'm sure the drinking kind of brought them together.
It didn't hurt, I'm sure.
Definitely.
So, while Johnny Depp isn't actually from Louisville, he was born in Owensboro, Kentucky. It's really not too far. What's Owensboro, like a couple hours or something, if that? Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I haven't frequented Owensboro. But he's the youngest of 4 children. His mother worked as a waitress, and his father was a civil engineer. The family actually moved around a lot, finally settling in Florida in 1970 in the Miramar area. When he was 15, his parents actually divorced, and his mother later remarried a man named Robert Palmer, who Depp has stated that he kind of considers an inspiration. So that's interesting. And when he was 12, his mother actually gifted him a guitar. And that's when he really started picking up his love for music, or I guess acting on his love for music, playing in multiple bands as a kid and things like that. He dropped out of high school at 16 to pursue a career in rock music. He quickly changed his mind, I guess, realized it was probably going to be harder than he thought. 2 weeks later, wanted to go back to school, and the principal said, nah, just keep going for music. So I would like to know more behind the principal's decision on that.
Right.
But I guess we can only know.
Right, I think the teacher said, we don't want you to come back, Johnny.
Yeah, was it that? Because, I mean, we know, that was when he was 16. We know he was into some stuff before then, so he's spoken out about that. And so he joined a band called The Kids, and after some mild success locally in Florida, the band decided to move to Los Angeles to try to get a record deal. They changed their name to Six Gun Method, but they ultimately ended up splitting up before signing any kind of deal. Johnny ended up collaborating with Rock City Angels and co-wrote the song Mary, which was on their debut album. And since then, he's worked with, countless artists at this point, right? Bands including Oasis, Aerosmith. He's played with Manson, Um, and I mean, even, recently he's been doing a lot. And so even though his main thing he's known for is movies and film, music obviously did a lot in helping him build
Was his
connections.
definitely was his first love, the first thing he wanted to do,
Yeah.
his first passion, definitely.
Exactly. And I
And
guess
he still is.
yeah, it's maybe for him it was one of those things like don't mix hobbies or passions too much with work because they kind of go stale when you depend on them for income, I guess. I kind of wonder if that was what led him to go more head into the acting and stuff. You know what I mean? But most recently, as far as music goes, he is touring with guitarist Jeff Beck, and he will actually be here at the Louisville Palace October 22nd.
Awesome.
So next Saturday, a week from today, if you're actually watching this in October 2022, yeah, he's touring and he's going to be at the
Check it
Palace.
out.
So should be interesting. So that was kind of like his early successes and his early networking, I guess, in Los Angeles. Before his original band split up, though, he was introduced to Nicolas Cage, actually, which I didn't know.
The legend.
Yeah, absolutely. All through history, if you've seen the
Right.
pictures online, it's all over the world.
Forever.
But he met him in 1984 and they became buddies. And Cage actually, it looks like, pushed him to pursue acting. So I just wonder what the real deciding factor was there. I guess like nothing else to lose, band split up maybe.
Right, and I think he had a little bit of money where he could push more towards the music. I think like recording, whether it be solo or get another band together. And I guess with the advice of Nicolas Cage, he put that towards acting lessons, and they definitely paid off.
Yes, definitely paid off, and we'll get into that a little more later. So yeah, Cage actually helped him get his audition for A Nightmare on Elm Street when he played in that, because that was his first appearance really in anything. He died, but that's okay. Most people do in those movies. He continued to act in a few smaller films before landing his role in the Fox TV series 21 Jump Street, where he became that teen idol heartthrob. Effectively, though, pretty much launched his career. Definitely got his name out there. And after that success, he pretty much just decided to take roles that he was more interested in rather than what would be most successful, like at the box office or well paying or whatever. And with his rise to fame came also his protest of how he was portrayed as kind of like a pretty teen idol in 21 Jump Street. He definitely did not like that, and instead became the bad boy of Hollywood, as he was known then. His smoking, drinking, recreational drug use, and everything was definitely well documented in the 90s. He was known, off film and off stage for his partying. He got in fights with bouncers, trashed a couple hotel rooms. The rock star lifestyle.
Well, he owned the Viper Room. He's a part owner.
Yeah.
He was a part owner of it. I knew he partied there a lot, but I didn't know he owned it. Like that's a dedication.
Yeah, he was part of it. And so Depp himself has actually stated before that his drug use began when he would take his mother's nerve pills at the age of 11. And then he started smoking cigarettes at the age of 12, and by 14 had pretty much experimented with most readily available drugs. So that definitely that's kind of interesting, I don't know, that he still managed to do everything he did and be as successful as he was with that kind of a start in life, I guess.
Right, because I mean, a lot of times when when you have like substance abuse and stuff like that, it's
especially at that early of an age.
right. It's hard to get out of that. Like that's
It's not like substance abuse is unknown in Hollywood, from music to movies and everything else. But for a lot of people, it's very much just kind of recreational until the fame and everything gets to him. But I mean, he started so young. It really is amazing just that he still persevered and became what he is. But anyways, his rebellious attitude is actually what led him to taking more obscure roles with quirky characters and everything, which pretty much led to him working with Tim Burton on Edward Scissorhands, which that's obviously was a huge success, and it's really interesting. I read that to prepare for that movie, he watched a lot of Charlie Chaplin movies and silent films and stuff so that he could really learn to express what he needed to without, having
speaking
his eyes,
right.
not really speaking.
Learn from the best there, Charlie Chaplin. That's awesome.
And it shows dedication when somebody takes that upon themselves to prepare the role
right.
the right way, So after that, he continued to, of course, stack up successes, starring in films like Donnie Brasco, Fear and Loathing, which again, if you've made it this far and didn't see the beginning, if you haven't seen our last episode, it's on Hunter S. Thompson. So we talk a good bit about Fear and Loathing there. That was a fun one. Make sure to check that out. But Johnny continued to ride the wave, starring in well-known films such as Alice in Wonderland, Pirates of the Caribbean series, and is actually considered one of the most successful actors to date. He participated in multiple charities for children. We've seen all the videos, pictures, everything of him at hospitals, in full costume, makeup, and everything, helping out the kids.
That's awesome. And I know he said he would never do another Pirates movie with Disney. But I always wondered if he'd do it again with if another director. I know Disney owns the rights to it, but if they ever gave up rights to it to someone else, if he'd be willing to do another appearance, like if Tim Burton directed it, that'd just be awesome.
That'd be wild. That would definitely be a crazy twist on the Pirates film.
Dude.
That's awesome. So by 2012, Depp was one of the highest paid actors in the world. He actually was declared, I think it was the same year, yeah. In 2012, he was declared by Guinness World Record as the world's highest paid actor, earning $75 million in 2012. So, again, considering where he came from, it's amazing to have the dedication, perseverance, and everything to achieve those kinds of accolades. After that, though, interestingly enough, a lot of people have kind of considered that his career started taking setbacks. A lot of the movies he was in either just weren't good hits, at least in the US, or suffered some backlash. One example is a Disney collaboration, The Lone Ranger, where Depp played Tonto. Disney ended up losing a lot of money on that. And so his career just, to some people, started to decline. To me, at that point, I'm pretty much retired. I don't know about you, but
right.
His more recent films are definitely not garnering the same attention, but he has not stopped at all. He even has like his own film studio or company, I guess, that he does work with or collaborates with.
Like he'll do independent films now too, like smaller budget ones.
Foreign films too. I think he's working on like a French movie right now.
He appeared, I think it was in Kevin Smith's Tusk.
Mm-hmm.
That was
he's been in a lot.
Masterpiece.
Yeah, definitely didn't get the attention of some of his other movies, but hey, it's hard to, I guess, do this show and not list off so many of his movies because he's just been in a lot. It's just stayed active. He has an extensive filmography and discography, so you can find that all over the internet. Um, Unfortunately, his most famous recent appearance on TV, though, is of course the news drama between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
I haven't heard about that.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Well, you'll have to look it up. We're definitely not going to get too far into that. There was a full 2-month trial. It was worldwide coverage. So feel free to look that up. So
It was like nonstop.
It was all over the place. It's kind of crazy. But that definitely didn't stop him. Like I said, he's working on movies now. And he's touring with Jeff Beck. So the Louisville Palace
October 22nd.
Yep, October 22nd, and that's just one stop on a world tour. So yeah, they're world touring. He's won numerous awards, from the Golden Globe Award, Screen Actors Guild Award. He's had several Academy Award nominations. Again, the Guinness World Record as the world's highest paid actor, earning $75 million in 2012. And he's given back too. So a lot of the times you saw him dressed up as Jack Sparrow, going to hospitals and stuff. He wasn't just there entertaining the kids. A lot of times he made donations to the hospitals and everything. He's definitely a philanthropist.
Speaking of awards, with Halloween coming up, I'm pretty sure a lot of his characters are some of the top Halloween costumes.
Absolutely, dude. The Mad Hatter. Edward Scissorhands.
Jack Sparrow, Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah. Thompson.
Right, all those.
Sorry,
right.
Raoul Duke. Can't get it right. Yeah, you see those all the time. And it's because he adds such a character to those characters. You can't imagine anybody else playing them the same. It's almost like Heath Ledger's Joker.
Right.
No, anybody doing it, not to say they couldn't do it well, but it's not going to be the same character.
Exactly.
So it's definitely awesome. Another person I'm definitely proud to say is from Kentucky. Definitely a reason he's our second episode. And he's also known for Hollywood Vampires, with Alice Cooper, Joe Perry, and one of his friends from his original band, The Kids, that he moved out to LA with. So
I have to check them out.
Yeah, Hollywood Vampires, and it's Alice Cooper. It's Johnny Depp and Alice Cooper, Joe Perry. Come on. So again, definitely one of the most successful and famous people to come out of Kentucky. There's probably not many people alive right now, definitely not in the U.S., who haven't heard of Johnny Depp. Probably not too many people worldwide who haven't heard of Johnny Depp. So it's just kind of crazy to think that he comes from our humble little state of Kentucky, where most people just think bourbon and derby. We also got Johnny Depp and Hunter S. Thompson. So it'll be interesting to see how his career continues to unfold. Like I said, he's working on a couple films now, I know. And it's just awesome to see. So I don't have anything else. I know that was kind of a quick run through. But do you have anything you want to add?
No, I think that covered it.
Awesome. We will definitely be continuing this series. So be on the lookout for that. And definitely drop us some comments of people you'd like us to kind of look into and maybe do an episode on. So if you like it even a little bit, please consider subscribing to our channel, dropping us a like or a dislike. It's okay. And again, drop us a comment and let us know what you want to see. With that, as always, be blessed. Bless someone around you.
See y'all next time.
See you later.